Hi, my name is Stella Ong and I will be presenting Story Grammar Marker by Mind Wing Concepts. First, I'll go over what is Story Grammar Marker, its purpose, then I'll do a little demonstration and go over where to purchase this tool. Story Grammar Marker includes what is called Braidy the Story Braid. The Story Grammar Marker is one way for speech-language pathologists to teach their students the story grammar elements in their therapy sessions. It incorporates a visual kinesthetic tool to help children with WH questions, and it also provides graphic organizers. It is also a way to elicit questions regarding motivations, feelings, plans of the characters in the story. These are all necessary for development of critical thinking skills. This hands-on tool can be used with students from 1st to 5th grade. Narrative development is important for comprehension, for making our thoughts explicit and coherent. It is also important for making connections to life and important for thinking through a problem, as well as participating in social interactions. It's important to know the name and meaning of each icon on our Braidy the Story Braid. Unfortunately, I do not have the actual items, but I will present pictures. I used this tool in my first practicum, and we actually had the entire braid with each icon. The icon actually sticks to Braidy, which is sort of has that yarn texture to it. But in here, in my presentation, I will have pictures of each, and I will start with the top. The little googly-eyed green character here represents a character in a story. The questions pertaining to this item is who or what the story is about. It is generally a person, animal, or animated object that's involved in the story. Next is the setting, which tells us where and when the story takes place, what usually happens there, and what does the character see, hear, smell, touch, and taste. The initiating event is represented by a cleat. It's also referred to as a kickoff. So we would ask what happens to the character to cause him or her to do something. The next thing we look for is an internal response or a feeling, which is represented by the heart. We would ask, how did the character feel about what happened? This is an emotional response to the kickoff. Next, our character has to make a plan, which is represented by the white hand. This is what the character wants to do. He or she will choose this plan. We have our following attempts represented by each bead. The attempts are the actions that the character takes in order to achieve his plan at the end. We have our direct consequences, or our tie-up, represented by the tied yarn. And this is what happened as a result of all the attempts. The resolution is how the character feels now and the lessons he's learned, or the moral of the story, which is represented by these tiny hearts at the bottom. Most students, depending on their age or developmental level, will not be able to discuss all of the events or parts of the story. The story grammar marker can be as complex or as simple as you need it to be, depending on the students that you are working with. Now I'll demonstrate the story grammar marker using Braidy the Story Braid with the book 3 Little Pigs. So you would start your session reading the story 3 Little Pigs. Then after reading the story, you would bring out Braidy the Story Braid. Look at each icon one at a time. And if your student needs reminders, you could verbally tell them, okay, the green is a character, or the kit, the basic kit comes with picture icons to help them remember. If your student can read, then there's a graphic organizer that has a picture with the word character next to it. I found that with my students who had difficulty remembering, they required a few repetitions, and I actually used this program with 3 of my first graders for a duration of about 2 to 3 weeks. So if I was working with a student with language disabilities, specifically spoken language, I would expect that she would not be able to do each icon. So we would start with the little googly-eyed green character and ask who or what the story is about. Next, I would show my student the star, ask where or when the story takes place. Or I could ask, what does the character see, hear, smell, touch, or taste? Then, if I am feeling like my student could answer the next question, I would show her the cleat, remind her this is the kickoff. What happens to the character to cause him or her to do something? Next, I would show my student the heart. Ask, how do you think the character felt about what happened? If the student needed a prompt, I would say, do you think he felt sad, mad, angry, scared? What's nice about this story grammar marker is it provides icons with different emotional cues, sort of like another visual for your student. Then I would show my student each bead and ask, what actions did the character take in order to achieve his plan? With my first graders in my practicum, we didn't get to the plan, consequences, tie-up. If I were to work with a student who was able to go up to this level, I would then ask these questions like the plan, consequences, or the tie-up. But I would expect my first grader to come up with a resolution. I would ask how the character feels now and the lessons he's learned. Another neat option with Story Grammar Marker is you could add additional icons. So in this story, Three Little Pigs, there are multiple characters. So with an additional price, you could order off of Mind Concepts website additional story braids. Personally, I really liked using Braidy the story braid with my students who are learning narrative skills. It breaks down the story grammar elements, character setting, emotions, actions, resolution, especially for my first graders who need that visual tactile cue. The downside to it is it's pretty pricey. If you go on to Mindwing Concepts website, which is mindwingconcepts.com, the price range from about $195 to $1,000, which is the ultimate collection. The basic kit, which is $195, comes with a teacher's manual. This concludes my presentation of Mindwing Concepts Braidy the Story Braid Story Grammar Marker.